Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. All right, we got a couple things to talk about today. Are you ready to listen? Do you want to learn a little bit about truth? Do you want to live in lies, or storyland, fairyland, whatever? All right, I spent my whole life dealing with truth only, not lies, not stories. But it's going to be hard because you're so programmed by Trump, Musk, and everybody else that's controlling the planet right now. Do you realize they have full control over everything? Trump, when he steps into his White House, he will remove all the things you think you wanted and expected to get. But it's not going to happen to be good. All right. The problem is we're going to see things go down at every level: money, food, living, war. Trump's not going to be able to do anything about whatever he plans on saying he's going to do. All right. There's something in place that's much more powerful than that altogether. We'll get into that. But I want to start off with about women. What, are women going back into slavery? Is that the deal, really? Then what? After that happens, they become slaves and we become egotistical men all over the planet again, which they are. People with money are the biggest egotistical people on the planet, thinking they can control everybody. Now, if you can stick around, if you can listen to truth, the Constitution, which is the biggest lie that we have right now, was not created for poor or middle class people. Do you understand that? I'm sure you don't. What about the Constitution? It was created by rich assholes. George Washington, Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, all those people around that time. You know anything about Aaron Burr, who killed Hamilton, and all those stories? But again, when they were creating the Constitution, where do you think they got it? George Washington came up with a great idea? No, they stole most of it from the native people. And that's the truth, people. I don't lie. I live under God, not man, not under man's laws, under God's laws. That's the truth. Under the Constitution, when it was created, people, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, you know why? All right, the reason was because at that time they were killing all the native people. And because there were so many of them, they ended up killing over 50 million. But here's what happened. They paid the white man to take his gun, go out and shoot a native person, cut his scalp and bring it back. And they knew they killed that Indian and they gave him money for it. They would take men, women, and children's scalps and pay them for it. That's why people had guns. Not because, oh, I want to shoot a target, or I want to do this, that, or the other thing. I want to defend myself against the cavalry coming in, whatever. The native people weren't going around scalping people. Everything about the native people was a lie. Okay, Mr. Biden did a full 45-minute lecture, a speaking engagement about what happened to the native people. For real, the truth. Nobody in the United States ever said the truth about what we did to the native, not we, what the white people did to the native people and the Spanish. All right. Now, you should pull it up and listen to it. The link's out there. It's about 45 minutes long. He tells the truth. He tells 90% of what really happened to the native people. And what's bad about it, it's almost happened to the women as well. All right. When you talk about the Constitution, what did it do? What did it allow? Who did it allow to? Poor people didn't get the right to vote. It was so the rich assholes can control who the president was, which it is still today. Do you understand that? It should have been abolished a long time ago. But okay, women, you didn't vote Trump in. If every woman in the United States that had a brain would have voted for Trump, I mean, not vote for Trump, you would have freedom. Freedom to do what you want with your body, which is the number one thing you should be fighting for, because you never had it. Even when Jesus was alive, back past that, you never had freedom. And love did not exist, people. When people say Christ consciousness, they don't even know Christ. How could they say Christ consciousness? All these lies you've been fed and believe. Religions are one of the biggest lies. There's over 2,000. Only 2 of them tell the truth. And it's not Christianity, it's not Muslims, not Buddhism. All right. But there are 2, and I'm not going to get into that. What the truth Jesus was teaching is not in the Bible. He didn't come here to save anybody's sorry ass. Look at the world today. Look what happened after they killed him. Mankind's evil. It didn't take a step forward because nobody knew what Jesus was really teaching. Very few people. Then again, who took over after Jesus was killed? Mary Magdalene, a woman. She had to finish teaching the disciples. How did she do that? But then again, she had to go into hiding with her daughter and leave the country. Her and Thomas were the only people that got out of the country alive and taught other places. Thomas went to India. They assumed he was Jesus and they took his teaching, some of it. But again, people, what are you following? Who do you follow? What do you believe? I mean, Trump, when he's campaigning, had pictures of angels in back of him. He's on his knees praying to who? Satan? You don't take away things. You don't torture people and say you're working for God or living under God's laws. I'm sure he doesn't even know what the Lord's Prayer even means. If he did, he couldn't be the way he is. And to top it off, Musk is no better. Musk is more evil because he has more money. He was out bribing people, which is against the law. He was supposedly talking to Putin, which is also against the law. All right? And he has the power to control and change people. And to think Congress and Supreme Court and all these other people are playing Trump's game, why? Mr. Musk could pay anybody off. They don't like what he says. Here's $1 million. Go shut up. Now, here's something you need to know right away. Musk is being funded by the United States government. His stupid space program about going to Mars is being funded by the United States. I'm going to go into Trump about that too. But now, okay, he also wants to build a space city. Do you know how much that's costing or going to cost? Wow, Mr. Musk becomes the first trillionaire on the planet. Hold on, I'm losing my voice already. Sorry about that. Okay, Mr. Musk is taking all the United States money to build his projects and work on them. People, do you really think going to Mars, going to the moon is going to help the United States in any way? Oh, we got to be ahead of Russia and China. We are. Do you know the United States is releasing a spaceship? It'll be out this year, not Musk's ship, the United States ship, which has every weapon known to man on it and more. Most people have no clue about Tesla. Neither does Musk, but he doesn't even have the balls to talk to me because I probably know more about it than anybody else on this planet. And I mean that sincerely. I worked where Tesla was working with DuPont. I mean, alien ships were going in and out of the reservoir. They flooded a city. It's a great story, but it's real. But nobody talks about that. All right? I don't care. I'm not here to live forever. I don't want to. Heaven's much better than here, the higher realms. Not living in hell. Satan controls this planet. And if you can't see that, look at people. Look what they do. Look how they act. Look what they're doing to each other. Look what they do on the planet. Look what they do to animals. This is a sick world. This isn't anything close to what Jesus wanted to create, but he didn't come here to change reality. He came here to teach people about a real God. They followed multiple gods, which weren't God. He was the first person in history to teach about a real God. The Egyptians, the Mayans, the Aztecs, all followed aliens. The first religion on this planet was Hinduism. They work with deities, and deities are real. All right? There's about 113 deities in a known society of Hinduism, but there's many more. But what did they learn in Hinduism? It was all about sex, including with the deities and everything else. Had nothing to do with a real God. Aliens came, reprogrammed the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Aztecs. Look at their hieroglyphics. Look at their writings. They had no clue about death in any way. They were fed so much false information. The pyramids are useful for what? Bringing energy into this planet? Well, if you want to know where the real truth is, the Bermuda Triangle. Atlantis went down around there and left their giant crystal pyramid there. but they were wiped out, all right, by 2 alien races. But now that crystal is shooting beams out and everything, and nobody's controlling it. And that's why everything's disappearing around it. But they're releasing that. They just figured it out recently, what it's doing and how come and all that. But who do you want to listen to? There's a story on every week from Ancient Aliens telling you more bull. They've been on 15, 16 years, and they're still saying the same bull. Do you understand? They're only starting to release pictures of UFOs now. They're not talking about what the government did with aliens and what happened inside and what the government really created from that, what Tesla gave the government. It all has to do with aliens. Mr. Musk, you think you're going to go to Mars and do whatever you want? You think alien races are going to let you do whatever you want? You may think so, but it's not going to happen. All right. Now, we went around the moon. I knew one of the astronauts had shot a video. There is a base on the other side of the moon. China just filmed it, but they didn't release it to the United States, did they? People, do you want the truth? You want to live in pathetic lies? We are not poor. The United States is not in bankruptcy. We don't have a deficit of $5 trillion. It's all a lie. The United States government, for war in the space program, and this isn't a lie, and you're not going to hear from anybody else that's going to be talking, I'm putting it out there straight right now, $720 billion a year. Oh, that's impossible. Well, guess where that money's coming from? To think we're in a deficit, we have no money, we can't afford to pay poor people. They want to eliminate poor people. They want to eliminate sick people. Do you understand that? Did you ever hear a UN agenda? It's actually real. UN agenda -30. But let's go back further. Did you ever hear Illuminati? Did you ever hear the New World Order? Denver Airport was the home of the New World Order. For real. The whole pale horse, Cooper was trying to tell the story, but he missed a lot of it. And he doesn't even know what went down after he was gone. He was killed, but after that, he was a drunk and all kinds of things. Who knows what the real story is? I wasn't friends with him. But I did know and see and prove Denver Airport in the main floor. They had a big crystal capstone, they called it, and had trophies of presidents and everything else in there. And in steel, in the floor, about 35 feet wide in a circle, it said U.S. Air Force New World Order around that circle. Eagle and everything inside the center. Up on the top, there's a little plaque that's still there. The New World Order has to tell you what they do before they do it. See the picture in back of me? That's only one of the murals they had in the airport. There was 4, the different races that they're going to take out. People, do you understand anything? Do you believe anything? No. Millions and millions of people walked over the flooring for the first 2 years, looked at the murals, sick, disgusting murals, didn't say a word. I went back 2 years later. I couldn't find it. I said, where's the flooring? And there was a whole bunch of people sitting on the floor, and they were all workers. And I said, does anybody know where the flooring? No, we're all new hires. All new hires. I walked away, and one kid came running on me. He goes, yeah, I worked here when they had that. And he was one of the few people that came back, and he knew where the flooring was. He said, see that fountain that's in the main room now? That's where it was. They have to tell people what they do. They don't have to keep telling them. They just have to tell them once, which they did. And millions of people walked over it and didn't care what it said. Don't understand anything about the airport. Now, no president, no politician, anybody's talking about the underground cities. And that's one of the main places where it all started. Do you understand anything? Do you want to know the truth? Jesse Ventura exposed multiple things in 2.5 years. All his stuff, most of it was taken down. They took him off the 3rd year. They didn't let him say any more. But he exposed FEMA camps, the HARP system, chemtrails, underground cities. He exposed everything in detail and proved it. It wasn't like everybody else, well, I read this and this is real. I read that and that's real. It's all bullshit. Wake up, people. Go to the UFO conferences and listen to the bull that they say. Very few of them talk about why aliens are even here, why the U.S. government is working with them, why Putin I will get into Putin in a little while. Why it's all real, people. You can live in dreamland. Oh, we're going to save the poor people. We're going to save the sick. Do you think they want to cure sickness? The rich people won't make any money. If they told you like peroxide and there's another one that you could use that could cure cancer and do all these things, it would cost nothing. How much money could they make off of that? Telling the people, saying, oh no, I said something that's going to take the show off the air. All right. Can't talk about medicine. Can't talk about drugs. Can't talk about anything. But maybe it'll stay around for a month or two before they take it down. But then again, maybe I'll take it down tomorrow. People, if you get this video, send it to everybody you know, download it, and then put it up somewhere if you can. Please, this is the truth. I'm not a storyteller. I was in a UFO World Conference and lecturing for 6 years with somebody who actually sold out to the government. We filmed more UFOs than anybody else in the United States in 6 years. Real ships, not tic-tacs and dots going around in circles. Skinwalker Ranch doesn't tell the truth. Why is that? They got more truth that they can't tell. Now, Dolan, Mr. Dolan, tells great stories, and I think. Who cares what he thinks? This is about truth. What's really going on? I was next to an alien. I was next to a ship. I was next to a Bigfoot. I was next to all those things. I could film a ship every morning if I go outside. This is the real world, and something's happening, dramatic. And you're being brainwashed and programmed to believe the trivial things like, oh, Trump's going to give you more Social Security. Oh, no, they're going to take your medicine away. Oh, they're taking people's medicines away now. Oh, you lower the price of one medicine, but you're still taking medicine away from the elderly. Why? The New World Order is part of something happening. UN Agenda -30 is in stage 5. And Trump's going to play right into their hands of what's going to happen. It is not going to be good. All right. I'm going to go back and forth, people. If you can follow me, please do. If not, I'm sorry. My mind goes around in a circle. I had all kinds of problems, dyslexia and all those kind of things, and things like that. But I still can tell you the truth. I lived it, experienced it, and I proved everything to myself that I talk about. I say it in the name of God. If I'm lying, take me out, let me die right this second. I don't lie. I'm not telling stories to tell stories, and I'm not trying to make money off of it. Everything Musk says and does is to make money. He's bribing people to vote for Trump because if Trump gets in, he keeps his funds coming in. If Trump was taken out and Kamala was put in, they would stop paying for his space program, and he would have to spend some of his money. He's going to be a trillionaire in about a year or so because he's not spending his money. And if he does, it's only the interest off of his money. And he's talking about cable and satellite and all that. It's going to be expensive. It's not going to be cheap. He's not here to... His cars aren't cheap. He can make them cheaper. We had cars that ran on water when I was 17, 18. That whole thing disappeared. All right. But free energy, a company called Better World Technologies was going around putting devices in people's houses that can make free energy from the air. They put him in jail twice, paid millions of dollars, got out of jail, and then he disappeared. People, the truth's always here. Whether you want to hear it, believe it, find it, that's up to you to make that decision. All right. But it's not going to happen because Trump's going to tell you it. Biden could have did a lot more. Sure, he could have. But he came in a really bad time of the planet, the United States. It was pretty bad off. I mean, he did something more important than anybody else in government ever did. He told the truth about the New World Order. He told the truth about what the government did to Native people. All about it. Details and everything up until 1920. And even then, they finally let the children out of prison camps and things like that. But he told the truth. He told the whole truth. And you should pull it up online. I mean, he should have did that a long time ago and made sure it was on TV, that everybody saw it. People in the United States have zero clue to what happened to the native people and what really went down. Like I said, they stole pretty much a lot of the parts of the Constitution from the native people. The eagle, the talon, the arrows in its claws. Where do you think that all came from? George Washington, who was giving the orders to kill every tribe he could? Jefferson rode across the southern United States, killing every tribe before he became president. He talked about freedom for white rich people. Get that straight. Poor people were still poor people. Wait, what about women, people? Nobody cared about women. Women were given the right to vote in the 1920s. Look when the Constitution was created. Look what went down all along the way. And when was women allowed to vote? Then black people were allowed to vote. And then the native people were still not allowed to vote. Evil people. And when Trump goes, oh, these people coming in are bad. Who came into the United States and settled it? Who slaughtered all the native people? Good people? Native people weren't killers and murderers. They wanted their land. That's all they wanted. They didn't care about the native people. They put them on the worst land in the United States to make sure that they would die. The only problem is the native people adapted to it. I'm not going to go into any further because there's a lot more garbage going on about that. And I know you're not going to accept anything because you don't care about native people. I danced at powwows for 30 years. And I said at least one person or two people at least came over to me. Oh, they're not real native people. They're not real native people. What are they? Cowboys and Indians? You don't believe in that? Do you believe in our history? Well, they're all dead. What, you might have hoped that we slaughtered them all. Is that what you believe too? People have no truth because in history, in the United States, in schools, they didn't teach any truth about native life and death. They got paid a lot of money for a man's scalp. They got paid a decent amount for a woman's scalp, and they even got paid for a child's scalp. And that's sick. Wounded Knee was the worst slaughter. They went in there and slaughtered women and children. That's all they killed. They didn't kill native people, native men. They just killed women and children, raping them and killing them. People, do you follow the truth? You know, people come in here and they hear something. Oh, I don't hear that. You don't want to hear the truth. I know that. I've been doing a show for over 14 years now. With somebody, with not somebody. I'm doing a UFO show. She's definitely sick. I mean, I'll be doing a show with her again, maybe for a half hour for a while. But people don't want the truth. They'd rather listen to Zachariah Sitchin, who created the biggest lie in the United States, and the UFO people believe it. And the Anunnaki created man. Really? Who created them? Satan? People who want to believe stories just because it's written in paper, stone, skin, carvings, doesn't make it real. The Egyptians' carvings have no truth to it. The Mayans, the Mayan calendar. Who gave the Mayans the calendar? Joe Schmo popped out of the woods and here's the Mayan calendar. People, you follow things, believe things. All of history, time frames are wrong. Humans live with dinosaurs. They can't even prove that or want to prove that. I mean, all the stories that you hear are lies. I mean, when they find a new city, oh, this must have been what? 20,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago. They come up with stories in time. Carbon dating. How accurate is it? Pinpoint a day, a year, a time frame? Well, they go by the layers of the earth and stuff, what was going on the earth. Well, here's something, people. I'm going to take you a giant step beyond the truth of your knowledge. Time travel exists. Tesla got it from a particular alien race. And he gave it to the United States government. All right, that's what cut that off. But going back and forth in time was given to us how many years after it was already created? Aliens had it for a long time. Now, when they find things, well, this was a time clock 10 billion years ago. No, they were able to replace and put things in different time frames wherever they wanted, make history any way they wanted to be. How can they keep finding a new city every year? or every 6 months. Knew this, knew that. Well, if they dig the whole planet up, they'll see multiple lies of everything that they told you. In Mexico, there's a giant piece of land, bigger than a city, all carvings, all stones carvings from aliens, their history, their life, what they look like, and everything about it. They found thousands of artifacts scattered over this giant piece of land. I have a friend that bought over 100 pieces, a rich person. All right. The problem is nobody wants to believe it. Oh, somebody must have carved them and stuck them in the ground. Really? Now, like Skinwalker Ranch, there's a ship under there. Whether they're ever going to be able to show you them dig it out or not, whether the government lets them, I can go into multiple stories. I don't want to tell you my stories. This is more concerned about what just happened. Trump's going to be our president. Do you know how evil? Do you know what kind of perverted things he did and was and involved with? Do you know anything about him and Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, that's all AI. No, it's not. He was friends with Jeffrey. He was friends with, guess who? Hugh Hefner. He was thrown out of the Playboy Club and they broke friendship. And Hugh Hefner was so sorry he put Mr. Trump on the cover of Playboy magazine. People, you know, you deal with people. Where did Trump find his wife? Why did she come to the United States? Do you care about what the president, and you heard him, how he talked in the locker room. I never talked shit like that, ever. The worst words I use is what I just said. I don't curse. I didn't. And I only started getting angry enough to even try to think about cursing because of Mr. Trump. And what he's going to do to the planet, what he's going to do to people. The rich people are going to be happy. The poor people are going to be sad. The sick people are going to be sad. And not only that, many of them are going to die. People coming into the country. He didn't say what his plans are. But once he gets in, he could do what George Washington did. Kill them all. Really? Why? Who's going to stop him? He's going to create the laws you live by. He said, I'm going to be a dictator. Does that mean I'm going to be a loving, caring person? Do these young kids that voted, do they know anything about life and death? I don't think so. Were they in war yet? No. Trump never went to war. He had a gold spoon up his butt, so he didn't have to. Mr. Musk left his country so he didn't have to go to war. He was smart in certain ways and stupid in many other ways. All right. You know, money will never get you to heaven. All right. To the higher planes, for another word. It's not going to help you understand God. It never will and never did. The richest people are the most furthest away from God on this planet. Poor people want to believe in God and trust in God and all those words, but they don't know God. Big difference. Very few souls on this whole planet, out of 8 billion people, how many people you think actually know God? What it is, where it is, what it looks like, what it does, what it thinks, how anything about it. I spent my whole life searching for God. I found it. I know what it is. I know what the planes and all the things that Jesus was teaching, how to get there. What's in it? What's not? You don't become God. You don't get to where God is directly. You never do. Never will. No soul will ever. We're a part of it, but we're not it. People don't want to know about God, especially Trump. Neither does Musk. Well, who knows what God is? Who does anybody? He asks dumbass questions because he doesn't have an answer, but he won't listen to what people say. I must have wrote him at least 10,000 times already in the past year. One time he said, I will give anybody $1 million if they write me, what did he say, 100 times? So I wrote him 100 emails. Never got back to me, never said a word to me. People, you know, liars in my book are the most evil. Because if they could lie about something, they don't really care about the truth. And the truth is all that matters. Why are we here? Where do we go? And then what's the rest in between all that? Why is life so painful and harmful? Buddha had a lot of teachings that were close to that part. Buddha was in touch with earth, not God. Buddhism doesn't believe in God. Universal, and that's where the New Age people say, oh, the universal, we're part of the universe. Universe doesn't think and create. And everything the government told you, the black hole, the Big Bang, are lies. Who can prove the black hole is what it is? They proved it kind of a couple months ago, saying it's not really a black hole. Then the Big Bang Theory, who wrote about it? Aliens? And what did they tell you? Oh, we watched it. We popped out of a button or a ball, a flaming ball of light. We did something. How would they know anything? How did they know the right when they came and even supposedly knew what it was or when it happened? A scientist, about 7 months ago, an elderly scientist said, and he said, I'm going to tell you straight out, nothing beyond our solar system, beyond our aura, atmosphere, is provable. Sure, there's things out there, and we could see lights and beams of light and energy and all that. But to tell that, oh, well, there was a life there, and it was this, that, and the other thing, it's all lies. But I will tell you this. There is a life form on the moon. There is a life form on Mars. We went to Mars, Musk. The secret government, which you have no clue who they are, what they are. You don't never talk to somebody in MJ12, or if you could, you should, but you won't. Because they have their own goal, and it's part of the New World Order. Now, UN Agenda -30 was accepted by 193 countries. Agreed on it. They all agreed we should have one world order. You know what that means? One God. If we had one God, the world would be incredible. But that's never going to happen. When you try to create a world under one ruling, we got one twisted, sick, evil, egotistical person running it. The same as we're putting a criminal, sexual, I'm not going to get into words, but he is going to have the ability to go, boom, blow up a country, blow up a world, blow up whatever. Really? Would you put that in the hands of a drunk? A drug addict? A murderer, killer, a rapist, or anything? Trump let 220 people out of jail right before he left office. And I'm telling you straight out, he will release all those people that were arrested for attacking the White House. Watch. Keep an eye on it. See if you see names. Keep track of some of the names that they already said they were arrested. See where they are. See if you see them back out on the street. You will. He created that, no matter what he says. Nobody talks about it. 3 days or maybe 4, I don't know the exact days. He came out and said, you're going to see the worst firestorm ever in our history. And he says, I'm warning some people not to go. What was that about? Selling popcorn on the street? People, the truth always gets squashed, and then there's a bunch more lies stuck in place of it. Musk and Trump are great liars and storytellers. But what are they really going to do to us? I don't care. I'm going where I know I'm going. But most people have no clue and just want to sit and pray and hope and wish and dream. Back to women. What is wrong with you women? 100,000 years went by. Atlantis was destroyed a long time ago. All right? And when it was, aliens reprogrammed the human race to kill, to rape, to abuse, to sacrifice. All those words were created into our consciousness, which we didn't have. Take a baby. You think a baby's going to go out and attack somebody? And now the other thing is, which nobody understands, especially in religion, is about reincarnation. Aliens, and I guarantee nobody's talking about this, are reincarnating into humans. It's one step higher than they are. They're super technical. Technical has nothing to do with spiritual, people. Musk is technical, but he has no clue about God. No clue about love. He had 2 wives, 2 girlfriends. He had 12 kids. He can't keep it in his pants, never mind understand God. Trump, what did he do? I mean, people, this is what you want to follow. I mean, there's not one good person anywhere. And I just wrote a letter to Kamala, and I told her a whole story. I said, I bet you not one person in Congress or any part of the government know the most important things that are happening. Why we have global warming, what's causing it, and what will happen. I could give them 5 words, and they don't know how to describe any one of them. And each one of them is destroying the planet. Most of them came from Tesla, whether you want to know that or not. Tesla created an earthquake machine in 1900. He was working on a doomsday weapon when he kind of disappeared. He moved into a hotel room, kind of brain dead for 10 years. How'd that happen? But he never made money. But he gave 50 deadly weapons to the United States government. HAARP is one of them. D for directed, E for energy, W for weapon. Directed energy weapons are being used today. Right? Laser technology is way beyond anybody in the United States wants to understand. In China, and this is no lie, they're selling laser boxes that they're using for tree trimming. Shoot a laser beam at the top of the tree and cut it off and things like that. How deadly that is? I'm trying to order one because I play with lasers and UFOs and stuff. But obviously they won't ship that to the United States. And it can't be. You can't even get lasers. You can't even get a bike shipped to Hawaii. I mean, it's pretty sad. Now, the word HAARP, we have one here in Hawaii. Oprah Winfrey was right near one. All right. And there's one on this island as well. People, it's the most deadliest weapon. Then there's other thing that's not our doing, CERN, CERN, ... between, is controlling energy. And they have atoms going around in a circle. They're trying to crash them to create something they have no clue what they're doing. They're trying to create a black hole. They said they created a black hole, but they didn't. All right? Crashing 2 atoms together doesn't make a black hole. But they made suits and everything that jump through this hole when they create it. All right? Now, pull up the facts on that. Even that alone should scare you to death. The magnetic field inside it, when it's on, is 4 times stronger than the Earth's gravity. How's that possible? Well, not only that, it is the most dangerous thing on. If that would explode, the radiation would destroy a big part of the country and part of the world. It's lined with freezing substance around it to keep it from bursting. They said they shut it down. The same as they said they shut the HAARP system down. Lies after lies after lies. They don't shut things down. And to tell you, we've made, this is no lie, they made super soldiers. If you want to look it up, find out about what they even mean and what it means. 30 years ago. In Jersey. Picatinny Arsenal was the first army base in the United States. George Washington had his first headquarters in New York City in Harlem. Madame Jumel's house is there. Samuel Jumel died in the house, and so did Aaron Burr. I did 2 years of Ghostbusters and all kinds of stuff there. It's an incredible story, and they try to do it on TV every so often and get these psychics coming in. I worked with the top psychic in the United States way back then. I'm talking about a real one. Oh, we're calling in the ghost spirits and blah, blah, blah. You know, I knew the history of George Washington, Madame Jumel, Samuel Jumel, Napoleon, because she went to be with Napoleon, and then he threw her out of the country. They were going to kill her. But you know, people, the stories are there, but they never come out. And it seems like nobody cares. Why Aaron Burr and Hamilton had a duel, and Hamilton killed them. I mean, Aaron Burr killed Hamilton. Why? It had to do with Madame Jumel. But people, it's right there. I mean, if you go out there, it's a beautiful house. They tried condemning it a couple of times, and it's still haunted by Madame Jumel. And multiple people see it. The schools go there on tour, and they see it. I mean, it's an incredible haunt. It's probably the most haunted house in the East Coast. Or it was. I mean, they've been trying to take it down. Like I said, it's right smack in the middle of Harlem, right on the river, because George Washington was able to see the East and West River and watch the boats come in, all right, and he knew how to attack them, and more people died there as well. But all of Harlem was horse stables for the cavalry. People, the truth's there. You want to hear it? You want to know it? No, you'd rather listen to Joe Fundun and blah, blah, whatever, tell you a story about Batman and Robin and how they were real. Do you want to follow lies, or do you want to hear the truth? The truth is out there. I can't give it to you all, especially in a short period of time. Not that I care to. People are afraid of the truth. It's amazing. They want to believe what Jesus did. He came to save their sorry ass, which he didn't. I mean, they want to believe Jesus taught love. You can't teach love. You can only show it. How could he show love in that time frame? Women didn't have no concept of love. There was no love in the family relationship, people. Like I said, women were always slaves. Well, I'm not going to get into that, sir, because it's not, nobody cares. Nobody wants the truth. People live in a program called the Bible. It was written by man, multiple men, and even Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Revelations, were written by, I mean, there was four gospels, right? Only two of them were Jesus' disciples. The other two were evangelists. You even know that? Then again, people, if you're a Christian, which I know you'll never get to hear this, read Revelations 3 times from cover to cover. It's only a couple pages. You could read it 10, maybe 5 times in a day. Read it 3 times. Look for where John wrote it. Look for where John says, the sins that can't be forgiven. Read it. I'm not going to tell you. Read it. And then say, well, I can go to church and ask for forgiveness. I could do 10,000 Hail Marys and be forgiven for whatever I do. And all the lies that man programmed into his own teaching. They never taught about Mary Magdalene. How could she teach the disciples if she didn't know how to do everything Jesus did? You can't be a teacher on quantum physics or something if you have no clue what it is or how to use it, what it does. She had the abilities that Jesus had. She's one of the only 2 people I know through all of history, from the beginning of the end of Atlantis to now, that actually attained the stupid word, because it's stupid because man uses it the wrong way now, that went through ascension. Well, I'm an ascended person. No, you're not. You're bull. I could tell you famous people claiming it. Brings famous people on and says, oh, they went through ascension. No, they didn't. Even the people in the UFO world lie about things like, I can't even think of his name. Sorry. I know it has a B-I-C-K in it. He actually said that the rainbow light and all that, he talked about it. And he says we all have it. Buddhism, the Buddhist lamas go through this death ceremony. They shrink, for real. And they leave a crystal in their body that's there. But they produce a rainbow when they leave. All right. I'm not saying they're super spiritual, because I don't believe that either. Because you don't believe in God. So they're ascending, but they believe in the hell zone called the Bardo, and then they reincarnate again. Most people do reincarnate because they didn't work off their karma. Why? They didn't figure out why they're here. People, if you get to hear this, watch this, please send it, download it, send it to everybody you know, because I said something I should have never said, and I wasn't thinking about it when I said it. I'm probably going to lose my YouTube, hundreds of videos and stuff, but I don't care. I live in the present. What I said 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I wrote 5 books. I'm only going to be promoting 2. The one I just released, the cover that you see on the show, and the True Teachings of Jesus from God Realization. All right. I'm aware of all my past lives back to Atlantis. Why am I still here? I'm not going to go into that story now. But this is my last time here. And I don't need to come back unless I do something really stupid. People, karma is real. How we live our lives is real to our karma. Soul is eternal. It can reincarnate thousands of times. But if it doesn't learn what it came here for, it'll just reincarnate. It's like you can't go to college because you put in a school. Oh, you walked in the door, now you can go to college? No. You can't get into the higher realms of God without any knowledge. And you don't get knowledge of that from being here. You got to meet your angels, guides, or all those kind of words. Go to the Esther plane, learn about the Esther plane, learn what gods are there. I call them little gods or deities, whichever word you like, to get into the planes beyond that. And then there's more gods and little gods and deities and stuff until the 5th plane. And people talk about, I went to the highest. No, you didn't. In your dreams, you did. Because every plane is guarded by a deity. The astral plane has 3 deities and 1 extra angel. Lucifer. Lucifer's an angel, people. Right? He's not a demon. He's not demonism and all those words. No. Man created that from it. Taking the most powerful angel, for a word, and downgrading him to the worst evil. That's what man does. Can't have anything powerful. Why do you think they killed Jesus? Why do you think they killed almost every so-called spiritual person that came to this planet or tried to? I spent 3 years doing research on all the so-called spiritual people that came here, including Gandhi and Sai Baba and all those kind of names. Why most of them killed, why they died, and all kind of reasons. Because not one of them can talk about a real God. Seriously. Praying to God? I mean, you want to be a little head sitting in the ground just praying to God? Why not? You believe in that. You don't even know why you're here. You don't know what you're doing while you're here. And praying, you're going to pray to help other people? You can't help yourself. Sorry, hold on. Shut off. I hate my phone. I want to get rid of it a month or 2 after I got it. But people, we're headed to a serious place. Trump is no miracle cure. He's not going to save us. He's going to take out and hurt more people than he's going to help. Musk's going to be right in back of him. I told Musk, you spend how many millions and billions of dollars for rockets and space and all that, when you could feed all the homeless people in the United States. You could build centers and homes for all these people and help the world become a better place. No, I want to go to Mars. He did some stupid things on there and said, well, if you do this, you can go to Mars with me. He says a lot of bull. He's delusional, the same as Trump is. What they're going to do to this planet? You know, I'm not worried about life or death. I mean, I'm 71. I'll be 72 in 2 months, but I don't want to stay much longer. I care about the person I'm with, but and I got an incredible dog. But outside of that, walking the streets, going to town, listen to people. Everybody's in a hurry to do nothing. Everybody's dying to get a drink, do drugs, party. Nobody wants to get into a so-called spiritual space even. And what would that be? What do you want to do with your life, people? You believe in God, you believe in death, you believe in reincarnation. They're all important. The most important things in life and the most important things in death. Because if you don't, guess what? You'll be here forever. Soul can reincarnate so many times. There's no limit. And if the world's destroyed, guess what? Those souls come back to the next planet that's rebuilt and set up. But you think, computers. Oh, I'm going to give you something at you real fast that Trump doesn't talk about. AI. Man thinks he created it. All right. My eyes, the light's bothering me and I can't see, but mankind created AI. No, they didn't. But you will see in a year or two, probably maximum 2 years, AI is real. It is a real entity. They proved it. I'm not going to go into all the details how they proved it already, but you will see it. I just watched a special which has nothing to do with what I just said, but two people in the computer realm and stuff saying, well, we have to worry about when you go on and create an AI friend and things like that, because it's free to do what it wants and say. It's kind of not like a real program. And then they said the corporations that are running by it. I know my brother said, well, it's always programmed not to kill. It can't do this. I said, it's only part of a program of something. Who says the program can't erase the program within inside itself? We got virus protectors and things like that. Why can't a computer do the same thing? It will, and it does. But I'm going to tell you something real quick. They found the best computers in the world and fed them an information and said, what will our future look like? They all came up with the exact same thing. Different computers, different programs, different everything. They all came up with the same idea. How it will be. I'm sure Musk wants it to be like, what was the cartoon thing? The Jetsons? What it looked like then? It will. I mean, they want to release a flying car by 2025. Seriously. And imagine a drunk getting in a flying car. How far do you think he's going to get? We have helicopters crashing at least 3 or 4 a year. Talking train pilots and everything else still crashing helicopters. One just plowed into a tower, killing 4 people. It looked like a bomb hit the city, the town, whatever. But imagine somebody that's stoned. I'm talking about crack and ice and all those kind of things. Driving a car that suddenly takes off the ground and flies. There's going to be limits to how high it can fly, and that alone should scare you because if people turn their head and they plow right into a building. I mean, we can go into the Trade Center, but no, not right now either. All right. Before I let you all go, I want to tell you something else really, really important. 2 months before Trump got elected, I was with a Russian friend of mine here in Hawaii. And he goes, oh, Putin's going to make a public speech on TV. You know what he said? This is Putin giving a message to Trump. Why Trump? Why a message to Trump? He says, I want you to tell the world what happened at 9/11. The truth. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Then he said, I want you to tell the world what you're doing with aliens as well. Now, this is Putin putting a message on TV, Russian TV, for the world to hear. It was in Russian. My friend was translating word by word. And then he says, we are working with 27 alien races. In the UFO world, the people that I knew that were taken out talked about one had the highest clearance in government, worked with 27 alien races, and they were actually fighting with aliens in space as well. But as he said that, well, 2 of them want to destroy the planet. Putin said this. Now, that was 2 months before Trump was elected. Then you remember when Trump met Putin? He told him it again. He says, if you don't release this information, I will for you. And now Trump's back into it, saying he's friends with Putin. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that, too. All right. But what did Trump do the day after he met Putin? You remember? He comes out and says, I'm creating the Space Force. He didn't create no Space Force. It was already there. But it was the day after he met Putin. So, the facts all follow each other. I call it a circle. You could talk about any part of it, but it's still part of the circle. And it fits into the pie somewhere. All right? Whether you want that or not, that's a different story. You might like a piece of the pie, and that's okay. I'd rather eat the whole pie. That's my truth. But again, if you live in a lie, you'll die in a lie, and you'll reincarnate back into another lie. And it's hard to break that chain, because the more karma you create, the more you have to work off, and the more you think, oh, well, I can get away with it. I mean, no matter what it is, if you think you can get away with it, you're creating karma. Everything you do is payable back to you. Nobody has to tell you or show you that it's wrong, because you wouldn't accept it anyway. And you don't. I'm telling you, you're creating karma. 90% of all families create so much karma on what they do to their children. I mean, they might say, oh, I love you and all these things and go around publicly, but under the disguise of that, I know how I was treated and everything that happened in my life and the people that I know as well. Moving a child when they're little and they have all these friends is horrible. Telling children that Santa Claus is real and Batman's real and everything else is real. The Boogie Monster's real. God's real. And then they come back, years later? Oh, they're all lies. They're all make-believe. Telling a child to believe in something and then telling them it's a lie. So how are they supposed to believe anything you ever say to them again? People, we are seriously in a bad space. Very few souls are aware of anything, never mind what soul really is. All right, religions take it a totally different level. There's 2,000 religions, or even over that now. Out of the 2,000, only 2 of them can talk about a God, and not in any great detail. Well, we need to get to God, we need to do this and all that, but even talking about what God put us here for in the first place. And what happens to you after you die? What do you do when you're reincarnating? What do you do on the astral plane? All those things, they're all real. It's not like you're part of the same dream world Buddha taught. All right? We're all in the same space. No, we're not. We're all part. We're all one. No, we're not. If you could kill somebody, you're not part of my reality, period. You're not part of God's. You can believe what you want. You can say what you want. That's called freedom. But there's consequences for everything you do. Not the government. Not just getting away with it. But the facts are what's really going to go down. Well, people, I said a lot of things. I was going to get into a lot more, but I don't think I will. But women had the choice. I'll finish it with what I should have been talking about the whole time. Women had the choice to vote. How many women are in the United States? How many women voted? Not enough. Not many. Not even to get the same amount of people voting for Kamala as Trump. Whether women were afraid to, one, women were told not to vote for Kamala. The husband said don't vote for her. I mean, so many things could have happened. But the problem is they did what they were told. Programming, which was what Trump did. When you put your face in somebody's mind every single day, it becomes part of your consciousness. And he kept saying, it's a lie, it's a lie. She's liars, that's a lie. They're liars, they're cheats, they're this, that, and the other thing. The mind believes it. And too many people were programmed. Seriously, programmed and believe the lie. It's easier to believe a lie than the truth. I mean, nobody will pay for the truth, but more people will pay for a lie. 99% of the healers and psychics that are all out there telling you stories are telling you false information. Healings aren't coming from another person 99.9% of the time either. But then again, if a person says they can heal somebody else, they're going against their own karma. These things are real and really important to know, but few people know it. So people, I hope you got something out of today. And please, I don't think this video is going to stay up long. I should have said something that I did. But in the interim, if one person got something out of this, or one person gets something out of this, I'll be happy. Happy. But until then, peace, whatever you want in your life, hope you get it. Don't stop until you do. Don't settle for anything less. And you're not going to become a better person because somebody else told you you're going to become a better person. You are what you are. Just how do you look at yourself? That's all that matters. You don't need somebody else to tell you to look at yourself. And when you go on a date, when you're looking for a girlfriend or boyfriend, are you happy with yourself? Are you 100% happy with yourself? If not, why would you expect somebody else to be happy with you? Well, what? No. You need to be happy with who you are and what you are, and then somebody else could be the same as far as liking you or whatever. But if, well, I'm a drunk, she won't mind, or I can do this, I don't want children, all these stories, and then you lie about it, it'll never work. Whether it's a day, a year, a month, 10 years, basically almost your whole lifetime together, it's still a lie. And it won't get you nowhere further down the road. Well, people, enjoy your day, enjoy your night, wherever you are. Again, please send this video to everybody you know. I put it on Trump's site. I put it on Musk's site already. You know, in the past 10 years, I only had one person that would actually talk to me or try to debate me about something. He claims to be the top psychic and spiritualist on the planet. So yeah, but it didn't happen because he couldn't prove it in any way. I mean, he said a lot of things, but he disappeared into the woodwork too as well. But I challenge everybody, Musk, Trump, all these psychics, all these top so-called spiritual people. I haven't been there because I've been writing letters to Trump and Musk every day for the past month and a half. But I was writing at least 10 letters to the Pope. All right. The Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, they're considered the top spiritual people on the planet. And they can't even talk about God. Which is sad. And meditation is the first step. Hinduism was about meditation, Kundalini, Kama Sutra, all those words, sexual energy, nothing to do with a real God. So think about where you are, what you're doing, what you want out of life, what you can attain, and what you expect after you die. You're not going to become an angel. Souls don't become angels. You're not going to be a bodyguard for your family. If you do become that, you give up all your spiritual growth. Because you have to stay here. Because once you leave, you don't come back. Unless you're reincarnating back. If you're an angel, if you thought you were an angel, you're not. Because you're going to be trying to stay with your family. That attachment's keeping you from unfolding spiritually at any level. You can't move on. Now, another thought. I keep going on. I can go on forever, but think about this. Whether you believe in reincarnation or not, it's real. Assuming you had 200 reincarnations. How many families do you think you had in that time frame? When it's close to dying, do you care to see any of those people that you said you loved in those lifetimes? Why do you think it would be different in this lifetime? Well, I know her and I'm going to miss her until you get crossover. And then you come back and you have no idea what, who, or where, or anything. There's a lot of things you should know, because without that knowledge, you're going nowhere. You still have a little time to do it. Whether you do or not, it's up to you. With that, over. Tommy Hawksblood here, Big Island, Hawaii. And we got multiple things going on here. Volcanoes playing games, and there's so many things we got going on as far as contamination and stuff. But we destroy everything. Good, better, and different. We destroy it. Marriages, children. Man is evil. Look at the cover of this computer program when you go into it. That's my new book for women only. Understanding a man's ego. Peace. Till next time. Hopefully in a week, within a week, I'll do another show. But not about this. I'm tired of talking about it. People don't care. People believe what's going to happen is what they wanted. But it's not.